And I think you have done a great job hiding your feelings and emotions and keeping it to the issues. But first
Yeah,
off,
thanks.
I know it's tough because you're an
It
emotional
is.
guy.
It is tough. I mean, I'm very passionate about this because I face these guys, Brian, and I know I know how they think. They've told me, and it's an enemy that I don't think enough people in our country see it for what it is, and I think part of that is because our leadership has really denied the fact of who this is that we're facing, and they've really I think they failed to tell the truth.
Which is unbelievable considering
It's unbelievable.
even for selfish reasons. Do you want to be the president that allows a terror organization to amass this type of wealth and power and influence? So far, I think the answers with this administration for 7 years is yes. Whatever you want to say about Jimmy Carter, he was working 21 hours a day after he made the terrible series of terrible decisions from Afghanistan to Iran. You didn't doubt his
Yeah.
commitment. His agenda matched the challenges. His answers might not have worked out. Whatever you want to say
Yeah.
about Ronald Reagan and George Bush, they tried to rise to the challenge and let historians judge them the way they will. I doubt that this president is admitting to the challenge.
Well, I think that part of it is, and I mean, as a leader, and I'm speaking of myself right now, Brian, as a leader of a large organization, my responsibility, and knowing that I was only going to be there for a set period of time, my responsibility was not just to, worry about what I was going to do on my watch. I needed to set the organization up to be a better organization over the long haul. And I just don't feel that the leadership right now is looking at the long haul for our country's national security, and they're going to leave a mess for the next president, whoever that president is. I mean, you can't deny that with what's going on, certainly in the Middle East, and then if you just look at the rest of the global map of the world and some of the challenges we're facing with China, in the Asia Pacific region, the North Korea madness, this whole thing with immigration in Europe. Oh my God, what we've seen in Germany in the last couple of days, nobody's paying attention to what's happened in the UK. You've got other Scandinavian countries that are having much bigger problems with some of these refugees that have come in, and it's just not as public in this country as it should be. And that's part of telling ourselves the truth about this. And frankly, that truth has got to come from the top of our government.
And right now, one of the top stories that we have is 2 Iraqis arrested, one in Sacramento, one in Houston, 23 and 24 years old. So the case looks airtight. Just 2 Iraqi refugees who we brought into this country. And we just hear Mike Morrell saying he's very proud of the screening process. But that's what people are worried about. We had documents on these guys, and these 2 are wrong. What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, I'm not proud of the screening process. I have some very good friends in ICE and in our immigrations element. I have good friends in CBP. They're enormously frustrated with some of the limitations and some of the restrictions that they're under. The leadership will tell you, they'll tell you all the good things that they're doing, and they're doing a lot of great things. We have great warriors down here in those organizations, but the authorities, the tools that they have. So we don't have the right capabilities. And I do believe that, I'm not, accusing one sort of candidate over another, but I think that what resonated with the American public with Donald Trump's comments about, hey, let's take a deep breath and let's step back, and look at what it is that we have to understand in order to actually do to figure out this problem, because this is not about Mexican citizens coming into the United States to do agricultural work down in the southern parts of the states. This is about people coming into our country with an entirely different ideology than we have, and do we want that kind of an ideology to be, frankly, is it imposed? Does it make us better? Is it based on the development of this country and how this country was developed? So again, this is about the long haul of the United States of America going forward, and the current leadership, I don't believe, has grown in office like I would love to have seen him do, to be able to posture this country for the next president and the next president and the next president after that in a way that I would have much rather seen as an American citizen.
Well, first I want to. We have a couple of things.